I'm Faith Dabney. Have you ever killed someone? Clearly not, considering you aren't in jail right now. But isn't killing someone using the death penalty just as bad? One needs to make sure that their morals have a say in what happens to each person when dealing with the death penalty. There are many costs of the death penalty, including the financial cost and the cost of one's life. When dealing with the death penalty, we need to look at the humanity and the evidence behind it. There are many positives and negatives to the death penalty, but killing is never the answer. Those same positives and negatives will help one determine how one feels about the death penalty. Humanity is one of the main reasons why the death penalty should be abolished. The death penalty is an inhumane way to deal with criminals. The death penalty goes against the right to life, and it takes away someone's basic human rights. The death penalty might be fit for murderers, but if someone murders someone else and we murder them, doesn't that make us just as bad? The death penalty might be used as a criminal's punishment, but that doesn't make it easy. If the lethal injection or electrocution is used as the death penalty, then that means that 99% of the time it is not necessarily smooth and painless. A good example of this was when Amnesty International Australia told about the 2006 execution of Angel Diaz by a so-called humane lethal injection, which took 34 minutes and required 2 doses. Doctors have said that it is likely Diaz's death was painful. Anyone that has morals can see that killing someone in a painful way is wrong, even if it is a criminal. Evidence is also a huge part of the death penalty. Before we can decide how we feel about the death penalty, we need to ask ourselves, who are we executing? According to the International Commission Against Death Penalty, the death penalty is often used in a disproportionate manner against the poor, minorities, and members of the racial, ethnic, political, and religious groups. There's also a risk of executing an innocent man when it comes to the death penalty. Another bad part of the death penalty is there are not always exact results. According to BBC, no one has ever proven with numbers that killing murderers stops other people committing similar crimes. But Amnesty International Australia had a similar fact to say with that. Evidence reveals the opposite. Since abolishing the death penalty in 1976, Canada's murder rate has steadily declined and as of 2016 was at its lowest since 1966. Those statistics are great examples because they show that the death penalty is not the best option. I'm a person that is very much against the death penalty, but I can also see why the death penalty might be an option in some specific cases. For instance, the cost for prisoners to live is astonishing. According to Robert B. Ebman, the existence of the death penalty as a possible sentence leads to guilty pleas that save the money spent on trials and limit the opportunity for appeals. The cost of execution and medical expenses are enough to match the cost of living in prison. The death penalty is also looked at a way to give back to society and retribution to help make people pay for what they did. According to Kermit Alexander, the death penalty brings closure to families while saving California taxpayers millions of dollars every year. There are many examples for each way of no matter how you look at the death penalty, but there are more examples to abolish it. Anyone can see that it is wrong to kill someone using the death penalty based on people's humanities. There is a huge amount of evidence to show that the death penalty might work in one situation, but it's not always the right thing. The death penalty is wrong and ineffective in all senses of cost, humanity, and results. There are a lot of positives and negatives, but in the end you need to think to yourself, do you really want to end someone's life?